On today's show, Jed Henderson takes a look at what exactly Winter Guard is and previews their up-and-coming season.
And Juan Duron is in studio to recap the first games of the baseball season. How are our Blue Hawks doing? These stories and more coming up on this edition of HTN Daily. Good afternoon, Rock Nation, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Anica Hankey.
And I'm Trois Murphy. I can't believe we're already in March. This year has definitely flown by.
I totally agree. Although Black History Month is technically over, we are still having the presentation this week.
Last week, the Black Student Union and United Culture Society presented a Black History read-in. Students bought their own literature and recited it for the school to watch. Here is Senior Khshaeta Johnson's piece.
The rage may frighten us. It may remind us of riots, uprisings, and buildings aflame. We may be tempted to control it or douse it with buckets of doubt, dismay, or disbelief. But when we should do no such thing, instead, when a young man who was born in the ghetto and who knows little of life beyond the walls of his prison cell, in the invisible cage that has become his life, turns to us in bewilderment and rage, we should do nothing more than look him in the eye and tell him the truth.
Although Black History Month ended last week, the celebration continues this week with a special presentation this Friday. If you have not already seen it in your email, seniors will no longer be taking senior lunch, and the campus will be following a modified activity bell schedule. Screenshot a copy of the schedule by heading over to our Instagram page at Rock Hill Media. On Wednesday, March 3rd, administration will be having a senior class meeting in the auditorium during sort time, starting at 10 a.m. In the meeting, details about senior week activities and procedures for the end of the school year will be revealed. Attend in person or use the meeting code RHHS Seniors 21. The winter storms created a dangerously low supply of blood in North Texas, but the Blue Hawks can change that during the up-and-coming blood drive. 44 more donations are needed, and each donation saves 3 lives. Students 16 and older can sign up to donate. Use the QR code that is on your screen now to sign up. If you are an athlete who's participating in events over the weekend, please do not donate, but anyone else is available to sign up. Transitioning from local news, the State Texas Fair has revealed they are still planning a fair for 2021. The fair is scheduled for September 24th to October 17th, and the plans have not been released to the public yet. We hit the halls to find out how students feel about the news.
I think the State Fair opening this summer is a really good idea. I mean, as long as everyone stays safe, wearing their mask, doing all the precautions that we've recently been taking because of COVID-19. Yeah. I think as long as we follow the rules, I think it's a great idea because it's a good event for friends and family to hang out, have fun. But as long as everyone stays safe, I think it's a good idea.
You may have all heard about Color Guard, but not many people know about Winter Guard and their national competitions. Jed Henderson takes a look.
Color Guard has been performing as part of the halftime performances during football games for the past semester, but not many people know about Winter Guard.
Winter Guard and Color Guard in general, it's a form of dance, but we incorporate flags, rifles, sabers. Those are the things that you'll see during halftime shows at football games when the band plays. We sort of add the color aspect and the more exciting visual thing.
Despite being a first-year program with a limited staff holding prior experience in Winter Guard, Rock Hill's inaugural team will be competing in one of the top competitive levels for high school color guard, the Scholastic A class.
Coaching a first-year program, it's a lot of fun. There's obviously their challenges of seeing what kids have already learned and then seeing the level of where kids are at that are brand new to the activity and kind of getting to create a process where they can come together and not just utilize what's been taught in their past or what they're learning right now, but make this super cool kind of blend of both worlds together.
Finding a passion in what program you're involved in can be found in many unexpected ways.
I remember my freshman year, I was in marching band and I was playing trumpet, and it was fun. I liked it a lot, but there was a point where I met my friend Caitlin now, and she had me hold her rifle for her, just to hold it. She went and did something, and I was like, well, this is kind of fun. This is kind of fun to hold. And then she came back and she was like, oh, I'll take that back now. And I was like, no, I was kind of having fun with this. It's kind of interesting. And she was like, well, I can teach you something. And she just taught me drop spins, which is the most basic thing we teach people.
As Winter Guard season ramps up, they are practicing multiple times every week to meet their standard of military precision. For HTN Daily, I'm Jed Henderson.
Last week, varsity baseball started their season with a tournament lasting 3 days. Juan Duron is in studio to recap that and more with today's Seasons Pass.
Last Friday, girls soccer was in action facing up against the Colony. Girls were able to clinch a win. It was a very back and forth game with the final score at regulation being 0-0. They went straight into penalties and all the girls were able to score with the goalkeeper Caroline Washburn scoring the final and game-winning goal. The final score was 5-4 at the end. Saxon Boring, Julian Paula, and Carson Keeper all participating in the race. Julian Paula won the consolation prize in the 500 freestyle and claimed 9th place. Ethan Hogan claimed 8th place in the 100-meter backstroke, and Luke Sitz claimed 5th place in the state dive meet. The boys finished in 15th place. And finally, Rick Carpenter, retired baseball coach and published author, will be throwing the first pitch at Thursday night's varsity baseball game against San Angelo Central at 7. That's all for today's Season Pass. Back to you guys.
And before we go, we have just received some breaking news from the governor of Texas. The mask mandate has been lifted and Texas will open back up at 100% starting March 10th. We are not sure what this is going to look like for RHHS, but stay tuned for more information.
Well, that's all for today's show. For HTN Daily, I'm Troy Murphy.
And I'm Anica Hankey. Mask up and rock on.